with Comic Book Man and Bo. Hey, Comic Book Man.
Hey kids, how you doing? Comic Book Man here. Welcome to the video Outhouse. It's time for wrestling news here in the Outhouse, and with me,
Bo. How you doing, boys?
Is Bo, and we're tag team up to give you all the current wrestling news that's going on. We're about 5 hours away from Breaking Point.
Yes, we are.
The Breaking Point pay-per-view, which if you're watching this like a couple of days from now, which you probably are, you don't care because it's over with.
But you should
it's
have
important.
watched.
It's important to us.
Or kickoff for the football.
Oh yeah.
WWE missed a bullet last week, and you know what it was? They dumped Jeff Hardy, or he left. His contract was up and he left and it wasn't renewed. He left, he went away, he went home, and then something happened to Jeff when he was no longer working for the WWE. What happened to Jeff?
On 9/11.
Yes. I know that day.
That was yesterday. We taped 2 days ago.
Fine, give it away. Yes, we're taping on 9/12.
Yes, we're taping on 9/13.
And at 6 minutes after 2 on a Sunday afternoon.
9/13. We're missing the football game. Anyway.
He
was arrested in South
7:30.
Oh, he was arrested in South Carolina on charges of trafficking with controlled prescription pills and possession of anabolic steroids. Apparently, they found 262 Vicodin pills, 180 somas, 555 milliliters of anabolic steroids.
Was Rush Limbaugh anywhere around?
Well, he could have been. And a residual amount of powder cocaine and some drug paraphernalia. Okay. His bond was $125,000. He didn't spend very much time in jail. In fact, he said that the full story will not be coming out until 9/14, but he said, you don't believe everything you read. Now, when I first read this, I'm looking.
He wasn't working for the WWE when it happened.
And you said that too, OJ.
He's no longer working for the WWE, so therefore does not qualify as a violation of the wellness policy because he doesn't work for the WWE anymore.
Or it's not the WWE's problem either.
But
coincidence,
which is even a bigger.
Here's the but part. Yes. Chances are he had a prescription for the Vicodin and the somas. So if he's got a prescription, basically this is South Carolina being silly. Now, the sheriff's department, basically after making all these statements about Matt bailing him out of jail, which wasn't true, Matt was in Toronto at the time, they made the announcement the day afterwards that apparently they'd gotten a tip a week ago. Jeff, I don't believe he was even home a week ago. So is there something a little fishy about this arrest? I just say it has a little smell to it.
So what state did this happen in?
South Carolina.
Liar!
Yeah, Jim Wilson's state.
Liar!
Maybe it was Jim Wilson's drugs.
Liar!
And I also know that Hardy happens to have 2 bad discs in his back, and he's got a neck problem. So if he's got a prescription for the pills, they did this because they thought it would be really nice publicity.
Okay, well, Jeff,
maybe the cocaine.
Jeff, stay off drugs, man. Stay clean. Stay off drugs. You need to be clean and healthy so you can do head dives off the top of 20-foot ladders into tables. Next up, Rey Mysterio, who's also got his own problems with not working right now.
Well, we are basically 1 week into his 30-day suspension. Now, before Rey got suspended for
23 more days
for a violation of the wellness policy,
yes,
he did an interview with a Mexican newspaper called The Record in which he said that, okay, I had a prescription for the drug I was using, so therefore you can't bust me for something I have a prescription for. He also basically said that he learned about the failure on the 26th of last month, and he got suspended on the 27th, which is a day after. WWE wellness policy clearly states you have to wait 3 days so that he can provide a prescription. He wasn't allowed to give them the prescription because he suspended him right away. So needless to say, Rey's a little annoyed. This suspension is going to cost him about $150 grand because Mysterio makes about $1.5 million a year on merchandising alone. So Rey's not exactly happy with the WWE.
419.
Yeah, and there's also 619.
619.
There's also a couple people.
419's better.
A couple of WWE are unhappy about this. The only person who was vocal about it was Chavo Guerrero because you said if you establish a policy which says I got 3 days and you suspend me a day after, it sounds like you're doing this just on purpose.
Well, apparently. Yeah. What state did that happen with Matt Hardy?
South Carolina.
Liar! Anyway, WWE has been raiding the Ring of Honor for talent, and they picked up a couple of plums, some low-hanging fruit, which they probably should have gotten a long time ago, because these guys are talented.
Well, they already picked up Bryan Danielson. His last day for Ring of Honor is the 26th. They also have basically been talking and about to sign Nigel McGuinness, who says he hasn't signed anything yet, but Ring of Honor has already said he's gone. Both of them will be done with the Ring of Honor promotion by 9/26. Now, Danielson actually had a developmental contract, and Nigel McGuinness spent time at developmental, but he wasn't signed to a contract. When this all happens, when it becomes official that Danielson's coming to the WWE, he's not going down to Florida Championship Wrestling. He's going to debut on the roster of, I would be willing to bet, ECW, and common sense suggests that Nigel McGuinness will be doing the same because It's not as if they need to learn how to wrestle. These guys know how to wrestle already. These are the guys you should be signing, not bums like Ricky Ortiz.
About time that they picked them up. Both of them are talented wrestlers, and both of them have good work ethic, and both of them have got good personalities. I don't know why the WWE didn't pick up these guys a long time ago. Back to wrestlers with problems. Christopher Daniels, okay, ran into some problems with the law. You know, I got to talk to you about how you organize this.
We got to organize all the people who get in trouble.
Yeah, but brilliant segue to segue. That would just make too much sense.
Christopher Daniels got busted for drunk driving after he was over Hurricane Helm's house having a drinking party, which they were posting about on Twitter.
And he's a superhero again now.
They were still drinking. But they were having.
He's just like Tony Stark.
Right.
He's a drunk.
Drink all you want, don't drive, dumbass.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they had a drinking contest at Helm's home. He got busted in his car. He paid his bail.
Bet I could drive my car to a brick wall first.
Yeah, he says he's sorry for getting busted for drunk driving.
I bet he is.
Tracy Brooks is taking off her clothes for Playboy, and it's available where? Where can I find her boobies?
Online only.
Oh, well.
It was supposed to be in the issue that's right here. Right here, Playboy. It was supposed to be in this month's Playboy.
What happened?
Apparently the editor, the new
it's an all vampire issue. Well, you don't fit.
Well, yeah. Well, no, actually they said they wanted to do a tribute to Farrah Fawcett, and the new editor said he didn't want the magazine to have any connection with professional wrestling, even though they did, wrestling with the WWE for like 7 years in a row.
Since when?
Yeah,
Since when?
This is a new editor, not an old editor. A new editor.
Oh, well.
The old editor didn't have a problem with it. That's why they approved it. So if you want to see Tracy naked, if you go on the Playboy Cyber Club on the 17th of this month, you can see her 10 pages in all her heavenly glory. And yes, she has some gloriously large fake boobs.
Heaven forbid we should have some cross-promotion and promote both Playboy and the WWE, because that might boost sales. Brilliant, Playboy. That's just brilliant on your part.
There's also supposedly another layout done with another TNA girl, but we don't know if that's going to show up at all either.
Speaking of TNA, thanks for the segue there, genius.
Thank you, TNA.
Speaking of TNA, Angelina Loves. She's been shit-canned. Get out of here.
She's been released by the TNA because her work visa is either expired.
Work visa? Where's she from?
She's from Canada.
Or
she wasn't.
How about that?
Or it wasn't properly renewed. She was a member of WWE Developmental.
Okay.
She got a work visa then. That work visa expired. Then she had to get a new work visa. She didn't have a work visa, so they didn't have any option other than let her go. Although, from what I've been reading online, it was TNA's fault that they didn't make sure her visa was renewed, because she was supposed to be at their pay-per-view at the end of the month. Now, the problem with all her not having a work visa...
Why didn't she just marry someone?
Well, she could have done that.
There was a movie that just came out about that with what's her face?
She could have
Miss Congeniality, Sandra Bullock. Yeah, she's a Canadian. She marries someone to stay in the country.
Yeah, he could have done that. And her real name is Angel Williams, by the way. Now, the problem with her no longer being under contract to TNA, and the fact that she had a developmental contract at one point with the WWE, means that if the WWE wants to sign her, there's not a damn thing TNA can do to stop it.
Brilliant. Okay, so
wait. There's also one other thing. There's some guy on TNA who apparently has been blogging all over the place, and she has the best ass in wrestling. I've seen it. It's okay, but it's not the best ass in wrestling.
Perhaps he has a fetish for her ass.
Could be. Mickey James.
That's Hulk Hogan.
Mickey James has a great ass.
Well, I wouldn't know, because I don't look at the butts. I look at the faces, because faces are more important than asses. Liar! You bet your ass. And we're done. That's it. We're finished. We're out of here. Stop off at the store's website, www.myalternatereality.com. Wrestling news posted up there every week. Until next time, this is Comic Book Man.
And Bo saying so long, boys and girls.
Bye!
Hi, Angelina. If you're watching in Canada.